Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. In the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. The lines were purposely blurred. Let me say that again. The lines were purposely blurred. And unless you have discernment or the eye salve, or was shown discernment or the eye salve, you will be part of many that follow and are led to destruction. All right? So let's get some of that discernment and eye salve in the book of Romans. And we're gonna probably read the whole book, the whole chapter of Romans, the chapter 1 of Romans. Probably gonna read the whole chapter and go through it and see what we can extract out of it. Extrapolate. So this is Romans 1, verse 1. And it reads, Paul, a servant of Yahushua, Hamashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of the Most High, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, concerning his son, Yahushua Hamashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. So you see already right here, it's already giving us some discernment and eye salve on how our Lord and Savior, Yahushua Hamashiach, who the world English calls Jesus, a so-called black man, was, born. He was born through a man which have seed and was according to the flesh. Now, in this Christian dogma, which is an offshoot of the Roman Catholic Church, they'll tell you that, Virgin Mary gave birth to Jesus and she didn't have sex with any man. She didn't have sex with Joseph. It was immaculate. Like she just gave birth and the Spirit put Jesus inside of her. That's nonsense, man. But that is what's to be expected when the lines are blurred and you have no discernment or eye salve or was shown any discernment or eye salve. Carrying on. Verse 4. And declared to be the Son of the Most High with power, according to the Spirit of holiness, by the resurrection from the dead. And that's another line that's blurred, because in the Christian church, they tell you that he rose on the third day, but yet they claim he died on Good Friday, and then you on church on Sunday, praising his resurrection. When you go Friday sundown to Sunday, they don't even wait to Sunday sundown. They be in church on Sundays already, having they, services, Good Friday and Easter Sunday or whatever. So by that, it's only 2 days. So their resurrection is off. So that's another, blurred line purposely given to you to mislead you and mislead the mass, the many of whoever followed that false teaching. So it says, this is verse, we go to 4 and then work our way back down. So this is verse 4. And declared to be the Son of the Most High with power, according to the Spirit of holiness, by the resurrection from the dead, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name. And they'll tell you there's eye salve and discernment throughout this whole chapter, but there's also blurred lines depending on what you know and what's being taught to you and whether or not you reject the truth. Because they'll tell you that the Gentiles are other people, other nations. And that's who Paul was sent to teach those other nations outside of the nation of Israel. When we were scattered amongst the other nations, and we took on their, language and cultures, and we became those other nations. We became like unto them, Gentiles. All right? Did a video on that. Verse 6, among whom are ye also called of Yahushua HaMashiach? And it says Jesus Christ, but we use the name Yahushua HaMashiach to get you to differentiate between the two. Because that's one of the tricks that was played on the mass. That they see the word Jesus and they have a notion of who they was taught and showed to be Jesus. But it's not who is actually written of in the Bible. So we use the name Yahushua because that was his name. And the letter J was invented years on down the line and took on this name Jesus. And along with that name came another doctrine that's not conducive to what the word says. Okay? So that's why we say his name. Because a lot of people may not understand, why are you saying Yahushua when it says Jesus right there? Because when you think of the word Jesus, you think of somebody who doesn't keep the commandments and the laws and who wasn't an Israelite. You have a whole nother idea and picture of what you think of Jesus is. Because back then, they knew him personally, and they knew of him. And the letter J wasn't around. So this is coming from Paul, who had an encounter with him on the road of Damascus. So it says, among whom are ye all, Salaki, among whom are ye also the call of Yahushua HaMashiach? To all that be in Rome, beloved of the Most High, called to be saints. And we know who the saints are. Grace to you and peace from the Most High our Father and the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. First, I thank my power through Yahushua HaMashiach for you all, that your faith is spoken of throughout the whole world. Verse 9, for the Most High is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit and the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers, making requests, if by any means now at length I might have a prosperous journey by the will of the Most High to come unto you. James 4:15. For I long to see you, that I may impart unto you some spiritual gift, to thee, and ye may be established. That is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith, both of you and me. 13. Now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I proposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and the unwise. So, as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. Okay? Because we were led in captivity. So we had Israelites that were in Rome and other parts. That's why he went to the Corinthians. All those books were written to Israelites that had lost their identity and took on the identity of the other nations that they were led to, pursuant to the curses. So he went to the churches and gave them instructions so they can get back their identity. So where was we at? 14, I am a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome. Also, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach, Yahushua, for it is the power of the Most High unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. And that's one of the Christians' main go-to, see? To the Jew first and then to the Greek. That means to the Israelites and then to the other people who are not part of the Israelites. Well, you have to know that the kingdom was split up into two, northern and southern kingdom. And the southern kingdom was comprised of 3 tribes. That's Benjamin, Levi, and what? Judah. Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. So those 3 were known as Jews. And then you had the northern kingdom, which were not Jews. So the Israelites, so here is how it works. All Jews are Israelites, but not all Israelites are Jews. And even if you go into the Jews, you have 3 tribes that are comprised of Judah, but then you have Judah itself. So you have to know these workings when you speak on these to the Jew first and then to the Greeks. Because by that notion, you saying that the northern kingdom doesn't have anybody that give them back their identity. Which we know the 2 sticks are going to be put back together. That's the northern and the southern kingdom through Yahushua. So you discrediting his work by saying to the Jew, what? First, and also to the Greek or to the Gentile. Because you're not putting into consideration the other tribes, the other 12 tribes, 10 tribes. Okay? So verse 17, for therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith. As it is written, the just shall live by faith. For the wrath of the Most High is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of the Most High is manifest in them, for the Most High have shewed it unto them. 20. So we get ready to get into the meat of this lesson here. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, to birds and 4-footed beasts and creeping things. And you got a whiff of that in Egypt when they had these Egyptian deities with, 4-footed beasts like the Egyptian, his name was Anubis. He was one that accompanied the dead kings to the afterworld. Then you had Isis. She was more like put into a deity of like a phoenix. So they worship these deities. Now, when you look at today's age in society, you see what? You see birds such as the dove that they, the Christian church put on magnets and give to you and you can put on your refrigerator. Or you see what? The emblem, the fish emblem that a lot of people have on their cars, in the back of their trunk. So it says, wherefore, it says 23, and change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible men. And that was men. They changed the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible men. Both then and now. And to birds and 4-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie. The lines were purposely blurred, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever, Amen. And that's what we seeing in this Roman kingdom, man. You seeing the mass worship the creature more than the Creator through these vain philosophies, not really taking heed to the word that's being brought out in these last days, man. You got Christianity, one of the main culprits that a lot of people worship. And it goes in contradiction to the word, man. So it says, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever, Amen. So with Christianity, man, you could basically get away with anything, and through their teachings, you could just ask Jesus for forgiveness of your sins and be saved. No consequences whatsoever. So let's keep that in mind and read the next verse. For this cause the Most High gave them up until vile affections. For even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature. Right. So now, with this new way of thinking that you can be saved, you have women that once had the natural beauty of a woman change their natural use into that which is against nature. Now you see it women on women, man. Woo! Boy, Christianity did a number on people, man. So now you seeing women on women, and you seeing more and more women trying to become like man, whether, they working out, getting swole, big as man. It's like they building their own man. And their own man is they self, man. So now you have women on women who trying to compete against men. And it's being pushed at a younger age. You see it through these commercials. Why can't a girl be just as strong as a boy? This is not in their natural state to go against that. But it's being pushed on them through equality and other aspects of that. So it says, for this cause the Most High gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meant. So now you seeing an uprise more and more of men being with men, or now they changing the wording of it, and now you could be non-binary or be referred to as them, they, and whatever else to cover up what is inevitable, what's at the core of it. A man with a man. Whether you a man with a man or a man with a man and a woman, it's still not natural. You're supposed to have a man and a woman, and that's it. No woman on woman, no man inside another man. All that is not productive. What are you going to get out of that? Only in this society only in this kingdom will you get rewarded for being a man who enjoys the company and being with and in another man's and vice versa. A woman being with a woman and a woman on top of another woman, or wearing something to be in that woman, would you get rewarded. Only in this kingdom right here. That's why it's known as Babylon, man, the land of confusion, man. Because they done put together thoughts and ideas from all the other kingdoms, conglomerate, and put it into one and repackaged and gave it here to you, here in the America. But we know it as Babylon the Great, man, spiritually. You know, they tell you marriage, they give you they take on marriage, and they give you little trinkets, little gifts, such as a wedding ring. When you look into the wedding ring, you see that came from Egypt, and it was called the vein of love, or in Latin, vena amoris, where they believed that the ring finger had a vein that connected all the way to the heart. You see? There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that you are getting in this kingdom that hasn't already been given in kingdoms before that. That's why this is that last kingdom, man, spoken of in Daniel, the 7th chapter. You know? And don't get it twisted, man. These Romans are Esau, the so-called the Caucasian, man. This is their last kingdom right here. It's it. This is it. That's why you see in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it says what? Esau is the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of that cometh, man. And in Genesis, it tells you that when Esau came out, Jacob grabbed onto his heel. We pulling down this man's kingdom, man. This is it for him. So he's trying to get as much people as possible through blurred lines to follow him blindly and be set up for destruction. So he know if he going out, he trying to take out as many as possible. And preferably as many Israelites who don't know, which is hard to believe, or who know and just reject the whole notion that they are Israelites. Because they believe that dogma, Christian dogma, given to by the Catholic Church, that there's a difference between Jew and Gentile, or Jew and Greek. So not everybody can be saved. They blurred the lines on purposely. Okay? This is their tactic. This is how they're going to get a lot of people in these last days. A lot of you Israelites who reject the truth or want to only take partial of the truth to fit your narrative. Yeah, we Israelites, but we came from Africa, you know, this and that. We going back to the motherland, and we going to save ourselves, and we going to get ourselves out of this whole predicament. That ain't how it's going to work, man. It's only going to be one person that takes us back into our own land, man. You're not going to be able to escape judgment. You're not going to be able to do this on your own. But through these different philosophies, you're going to believe that. And that's the whole thing. These lines were purposely blurred to draw the line between the left side and the right side. Those who believe and those who don't believe. Those who have the faith in Yahushua and those who don't, but claim they do in some way, shape, or form, who try to get it to fit their own agenda. I'm going to save myself. We can save ourselves. Let's go back to Africa and build. Let's leave Babylon. When it says come out of Babylon, come out of Babylon. That's the thought process. That's how you think. Leave that thought process behind, man. Leave these holidays behind. Leave these birthdays behind. Leave all this confusion behind, man. It's only going to blur the lines more and more to when you can't tell what's what. You can't tell whether you coming or going, left or right, up and down. Easy for the picking, for the roaring lion. That you know we're going to close out in 1 Peter we're going to talk about. All right? So let's go back up and get our train of thought. So it says, verse 25, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever, Amen. For this cause gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lust one toward another. Man with man, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was met. 28. And even as they did, 28. And even as they did not like to retain the power in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient. And that's why he said, okay, you want to go that route, do whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm gonna give you over to your reprobate mind, man. If you think you that wise and that smart that you can escape judgment, go over to Africa, live out your life in the motherland, and offset all these prophecies, then go ahead. Do you. I'm gonna give you over to your reprobate mind. Verse 29, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malady, whispers, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. And that's a big thing with a lot of these, with the conscious community. They like to set up these debates, and you may gain a little bit of wisdom out of it when they bring out certain books and information and knowledge or whatever. But the overall, atmosphere of vibe for is they just bring in a lot of envy, man, a lot of strife. They don't have no real concern to want to know the word. Their only purpose is to prove that the word doesn't hold any value, that the word has been tampered with. They don't really do no real research. They don't really have the fear of the Most High, because this is something that you can't just do a day or two research and live it and then say, okay, I did try it. This is something you have to be really into and ready to endure to the end. That means until the end of your life or until the end of this man's world right here, if you make it to that point. So ain't nothing you could come, it ain't a fly by night type of operation, man. You got to be in it for the long run. And you got to stand on it. You got to stand on it. No matter what is thrown your way. And now is the time that you can, get plenty of information on whatever's being thrown your way to try to knock you off your square. So, I believe we was on verse 31. Without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. And that's the whole thing. They have pleasure, enjoyment of coming against the word. That's the reason that they do it. They like that. They evil. They let me see. They enjoy the fruits of their labor here on this side. They don't want it to end. They feel like they've became somebody in this society. They feel like they made it. And they don't want to lose that. So they take pleasure in bringing strife against the word. I done made it big, man. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm a millionaire now. I started from the bottom. Now I'm on the top. That Bible ain't got no truth in it. That's a white man's Bible. It was tampered with. Man, here go the truth right here, man. We need this right here. Our people need this. That Bible can't get our people out of the predicament we in. Okay, we gonna see. Now all that money you done accumulated and all that, you know, fame or whatever you feel like is necessary that you done graduated, now you this big person. We gonna see what this Bible gonna do and how you gonna act when these prophecies come to the light. We gonna see if you willing to go ahead and take that mark. We gonna see exactly how far you made it and what our people need. See, you don't know, you being set up for the okie doke right now. Now is the biggest time where anybody could come up, because they know right around that corner they got the antidote, man. When you gonna have to get on board to keep all that. So we coming into that test, man. So you coming up. It's the easiest time to come up right now. Because this kingdom is almost finished. So they don't have no problem with giving whoever want to get it, however they want to get it. Because they know they're going to take all that and transfer that over into their new currency, that new mark. And you're going to have to take that mark to pledge your allegiance to them. And they got you. Because you feel like, man, I done made it. I done came up. I'm here. We here. I'm selling books on different websites. Man, you can't see it because you don't have the eyesight of the discernment, man. The lines were purposely blurred. That's it. Purposely blurred to draw the line between the left and the right. And unless you have discernment or the eye salve or was shown discernment or the eye salve, you're not going to get it. You're going to keep thinking that this kingdom is going to last forever. And that you can build here and create generational wealth to come for generations and generations, man. That's exactly what that line you want. And let's go ahead and close out and get it. Told you we were going to go to 1 Peter 5 and 8. Get that lion, man. Be sober. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober. Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And if he got to give you a little bit of what you perceive to be generational wealth to blur the line, to get you off track, no doubt he gonna do it, because he already know what the end game is. Your allegiance. You can't serve two gods, man. You got to pick your side. And if you are busy trying to get this dollar bill, y'all, and you put in that's why I tell you, Haggai 1:6, you put in money into bags with holes, man. That's what Satan, that's what the devil looking for, man. He gave you the bag, he got you working, but you ain't realizing that the bag got holes in it. Poked holes in the bottom of the bag, man. You just putting in that work and you ain't gonna have nothing to show for it. You been had. So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And that's how he getting y'all. Well, that's how he getting them. By letting them get that bag. Y'all got that bag. Because you never in the history that there has been an easier time to come up right now. You could come up on an overnight viral video. I mean, but it's plain to those who can see, who have that eyesight and that discernment always shown, and to those who received it and had wind of it, but blew it off for the purpose of getting that money, getting that bag, are thinking that, this ain't what it is. Okay. Well, you just going to have blurrier and blurrier vision till you can't see anything. And then you're going to have to come get that remedy, that recipe that roaring lion got waiting on you down at whatever site he going to have it posted up for you. Come on, come on. So let's read this one more time and we're going to close out. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So with that being said, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.